The morning started with a bangor more like a screech, sharp and electric, slicing through the dawn at 6:03 a.m. It wasn't an explosion, not the kind with flames, but the kind that sounds like a microwave stuffed with forks, followed by dead silence. The sky was still gray, not even a hint of pink, but every cow within 2 miles was stampeding like the DVY. I was chasing them on horseback. Grandpa Amos stood on the porch in his faded boxers, one eyebrow cocked, a half-eaten waffle in his hand, staring at the smoke curling up from the canyon pasture like it was just another day on the Miller family ranch. "Well," he said, taking a bite, "that'll teach him." 3 days earlier, I didn't know what an HOA was. To me, they were just nosy suburban types who'd ticket you for a crooked mailbox. But now, standing on our patch of nowhere, Texas, watching a white SU branded with the fancy Canyon View Estates logo fry like a bug on a zapper, I was starting to get it. That moment, that high-voltage spark, kicked off a feud that'd go VY row, tear my family apart, uncover a dirty land grab, and nearly cost us everything. And Grandpa Amos? He was about to become a legend with a spool of copper wire and a grudge as wide as the horizon. I'm Lily, by the way. I just finished my junior year and got shipped off to Grandpa's ranch for the summer, like a package labeled "Handle with care." Mom said it'd toughen me up. Grandpa said it'd keep the coyotes fed. I'd been there 2 days when he banged on my door at dawn, hollering, "Lily, we got a trespassing son of a Buick in the lower pasture." Bleary-eyed, I stumbled out in a hoodie and mismatched boots. Sure enough, there it was, a gleaming Canyon View SUV parked smack in the middle of our grazing field, like it owned the dirt. The gate was open, tire tracks fresh, license plate reading CNYVW1. I blinked. Canyon View. Grandpa spat a sunflower seed into the dust. Canyon View Estates. Bunch of yoga-doing, kale-eating yuppies trying to turn Texas into a dog park. Why they'd leave a car here, he didn't say. He just marched to the barn, rummaged like a man possessed, and came back with wire, a rusty transformer, and a gleam in his eye that screamed trouble. 30 minutes later, that SUV was hooked to the electric fence we used for cattle. I asked what had happened if someone touched it. He shrugged. Same as when raccoons hit the chicken coop. Teaches respect. We didn't wait long. By noon, a guy showed up pale as printer paper, Bluetooth headset blinking, Canyon View polo tucked into khakis. He stepped out of a black Tesla, tapping his phone like it owed him money, and strutted toward the SUV. "Excuse me, I'm here to retrieve HOA property. This land is Zap." He dropped like a sack of flour, phone flying one way, dignity the other. Cicadas buzzed. A cow mooed. He groaned, rolling over. "You people are insane. You parked on our land." Grandpa called, arms crossed like a sheriff. "Texas don't take kindly to squatters." I couldn't help I laughed, and I filmed it. That clip was meant for my cousin Jake, but he sent it to a friend who slapped banjo music on it and posted it online. By nightfall, Electric Grandpa versus HOA was trending. The next morning, 3 things happened. A tow truck hauled the smoking SUV away. We got a legal threat from Canyon View, and I noticed something odd before the car vanished, a dusty black briefcase in the back seat, Loctite with a keypad and a sticker, property of CV Development Board. I should have let it go, but something fell off. Why trespass? Why that field? Why the panic in that guy's eyes, not just from the shock, but something else? I started digging. Canyon View's website was a joke, barely secured. Their public folders weren't about lawn VY, olations they mentioned, land annexation, and a luxury golf course on non-utilized ranch properties. Guess whose pasture was marked? Ours. I showed Grandpa, expecting him to lose it. Instead, he nodded, eyes distant. "Knew they'd come for it eventually," he muttered. "What?" I asked. He stared at the hills. "There's more to this ranch than cows, Lily. Things buried here they want." Before I could push, a drone buzzed overhead, not ours. It hovered, beeped, and zipped toward Canyon View's gates. Grandpa didn't speak. He grabbed a chain, a wrench, and a steel rod, then upgraded the fence like a man gearing for war. That night, I couldn't sleep, thinking of that briefcase, the SUV, the documents, and Grandpa fortifying gates like we weren't just guarding cattle anymore. We were guarding secrets someone was ready to break laws, maybe even kill, to get. The internet crowned Grandpa Amos a hero, part Clint Eastwood, part mad scientist. Locals loved it, showing up with sweet tea and stories of their own HOA nightmares. But Canyon View wasn't laughing. They hit back, subtle at first. One morning, our access road was blocked with an orange barrier and a sign. Private access, Canyon View Municipal District. We didn't even know they had a district. Grandpa ripped the sign out and tossed it in the creek. Then came a letter, delivered by a courier in a gray envelope that stank of cologne. It accused Grandpa of trespassing, property damage, and unconventional use of rural infrastructure. He laughed, lit it on fire, and dropped it in the sink. But the pressure mounted. They served a cease and desist order and filed a county complaint. Their lawyer, a slick Dallas type named Victor Crane, called Grandpa Mr. Miller the alleged perpetrator. Grandpa called him City Boy and threatened to wire him to the chicken coop. My mom, who'd brushed this off as Grandpa's antics, called one night panicked. Someone had offered to buy her share of the ranch double its value. Off the books. They knew she had a stake, which meant they were digging through our family records. What bugged me most was that briefcase. Every time I mentioned it, Grandpa clammed up. I searched online, but no briefcases matched its military-grade look. It wasn't standard HOA gear. Then Grandpa's friend Walt, a retired sheriff with a knack for gossip, dropped by with a story. Years back, he'd seen a similar SUV at a county meeting where a developer pitched a golf resort near Black Rock Ridge, our southern boundary. The plan failed because Grandpa and Grandma wouldn't sell. Walt squinted. That briefcase looked like it held more than files. Deeds, hush money, maybe worse. That night, I snuck into Grandpa's study and found an envelope in Grandma's handwriting. Black Rock Ridge, not for sale. Inside was a faded map with a circle around our southern pasture where the SUV had parked. A line led to a box labeled Old Survey Shaft, closed 1979, possible deposit. Mineral deposit. It clicked. The briefcase, the trespassing, the aggression. They weren't after land. They wanted what was under it. I showed Grandpa the map. He didn't rage. He just leaned on the barn door with his coffee. "Hoped you wouldn't get mixed up in this," he said. "What's under the ridge?" I asked. "Something that ain't theirs," he replied. "They've been after it for 40 years. Before I could dig deeper, tires crunched gravel. A blackest not the same one rolled up. A woman in a Canyon View blazer stepped out, all smiles and threats. "Mr. Miller, Miss Miller, let's resolve this. No more legal nonsense. We'll buy your southern acreage, triple market value, 30 days to vacate." Grandpa didn't blink. "I'll think on it." She grinned. "Tomorrow, then." As she left, Grandpa called. "You leave that briefcase last time, or just the lies?" Her smile twitched, just enough to confirm everything. The ranch turned into a fortress. Grandpa strung high-tensile electric wire, rigged sprinklers with fertilizer, and built scarecrows with tasers. Locals brought lawn chairs. A news crew filmed electrified justice. But Canyon View doubled down, dragging us to a county mediator. Their lawyer, Bradley Holt, spun a tale of rural aggression and electrified warfare. Grandpa leaned back and drawled, "I've been on this land since before your boy could spell regulation. That SUV crossed a locked gate and scared my best milker. What's that, a play date?" I couldn't stay quiet. I showed the room my VY Deo of Holt grabbing the SUV, shouting about private HOA business. I paused it. If it's private, why is it on our land? And why is there a CV Development Board briefcase in the back? Holt's mask slipped. The mediator called a recess. That night, a truck pulled up, headlights off. A thin man handed Grandpa an envelope and muttered, "Don't trust anyone in a Canyon View badge." Inside was a grainy photo of two men near a mine shaft, a young Grandpa and a clean-shaven Bradley Holt in military gear. "That's not possible," I said. Grandpa folded the photo. "It is, but that's a story I hoped I'd never tell." I started digging literally. At the ridge, where Grandma's map pointed, I borrowed a soil sensor. The readings were weird, dense, conductive, not just dirt. I told Grandpa I wanted to rent radar, maybe call a geologist. He grunted about digging up ghosts, but admitted In 78, some Houston suits drilled holes, paid your grandma to hush, and left. Said the deposit wasn't worth it. They were lying. It wasn't just minerals. It was leverage rare, valuable. I found a tin box in the attic with maps, letters, and a velvet pouch holding a heavy, metallic stone. Grandma's note read, "Test sample. Never let this leave the house." Grandpa saw it and stiffened. They called it RL rare, layered mineral. Magnetic, conductive, perfect for batteries. Makes lithium look cheap. Then the barn was hit. Chickens went wild at midnight. We found a lock cut, the 1978 survey folder gone. Tire tracks led to Canyon View. They knew everything now. Grandpa aborted windows, upped the fence voltage, and handed me a notebook of trap diagrams. "If I'm not around, you follow these," he said. I memorized them. 2 nights later, Mom showed up, heels sinking in the dirt, looking like she hadn't slept. "You sold, didn't you?" Grandpa said. She swore she hadn't, but admitted they'd offered triple value. No taxes, no trail. She handed us a flash drive. I took this from their guy. Emails, memos, something about an extraction team. They're not buying Enamorthy retaking. The fight changed. Grandpa took me to see Paul Reed, an old friend who edited the local paper. We showed him to the flash drive, HOA memos, profit projections for ridge extraction, a lithium equivalent yield 3.7 times standard. Paul said we needed a story, not just truth. So I filmed everything: the fence, the shaft, the stone. I interviewed Grandpa, Mom, even Walt. We called it "This Land is Wired" and posted it anonymously. It hit 50,000 VYUs by midnight. Comments poured in: HOA horror stories, corporate greed rants. A senator reposted it, vowing lawsuits. Then a whistleblower, Ethan, showed up, sweating with a briefcase. He'd stolen it when things got shady at Canyon View. Grandpa cracked it open. Deeds, mineral claims, a USB. We took it to Paul, who called a law firm. The USB had a recording hold and a partner plotting to squeeze the old man with fake reports and bribes. It was theft, plain and simple. The law firm filed for a grand jury. Holt vanished. Canyon View's board dissolved. In court, we pressed charges: trespassing, fraud, conspiracy. Grandpa spoke. No notes, just heart. "This land's my life, fences, cattle, love, family. It's not a number." They thought we wouldn't notice, that we were too old, too small. But we fought, and we'll keep fighting. You don't take what ain't yours. Not in Texas. Not ever. The judge greenlit the grand jury. Outside, a reporter asked Grandpa if we'd won. "We ain't won," he said, "but we made him bleed." Peace came slowly, like dew on the grass. No threats, no letters, just birds and breeze. The ridge was safe, but he like it remembered. Mom stayed, sketching a reclamation plan with a university professor. They offered to fund a tech center to study RLM without ripping up the land. Grandpa signed, cautious, demanding final say. A mobile research unit arrived: solar panels, not bulldozers. I kept filming, and our channel grew to 1 million followers. The ranch became a symbol, even drawing the governor with pie and cameras. Grandpa snorted. "They better bring more than pie next time." One day, Grandpa showed me contraption pipes, batteries, solar cells. My retirement plan? He called it a solar-powered security vehicle. The Department of Agriculture wanted to fund it. Mom turned a barn into a co-op for researchers, and family dinners filled it with laughter. One evening, by a new wooden fence, Grandpa looked softer, I nodded. I asked about the photo, about Holt. He sighed. We served together. He wasn't always bad, but he thought land was money and silence. I thought it was worth protecting, even alone. "You're not alone," I said. He smiled. "No, guess I'm not." The war was over, but it was stewardship now. I uploaded a final video, The Ranch Rewired, showing our fight, our future. Grandpa handed me iced tea, nodded. The wires hadn't just saved the land, they'd rewired us, lit the way for the right people to find us. What do you think? Did we go too far with the electric fence? Or was it the only way to fight back? Should Grandpa have sold the land and walked away? Or was this legacy worth the war? And that mineral under the ridge, should it stay buried? Or is it time to share it with the world? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if you're Team Miller, and subscribe for more stories from the front lines of Texas dirt.